Coco Gauff sets the record straight after Backlash for bluntly calling out American fans' inadequate support. Coco Gauff found herself at the center of a heated conversation after a candid assessment of American fan support overseas rubbed some tennis fans the wrong way. What began as an honest reflection ahead of the 2026 United Cup quickly snowballed into criticism online, prompting the world number 3 to clarify her words publicly. Coco Gauff breaks down her comments after they are taken out of context. The comments came during a pre-tournament press conference in Perth, where Gauff was asked whether American players feel supported by U.S. fans when competing abroad, particularly with the Australian swing spanning multiple cities. Gauff chose honesty, admitting that, in her experience, American fan presence does not compare favorably to that of other countries. "I'll be honest, no," she said. She then placed her perspective in a broader context, adding, "I feel like we're definitely, in the tennis department, the worst when it comes to that." Gauff explained that she often notices how fans from smaller nations consistently show up for their players around the world, regardless of location. Those remarks drew mixed reactions online, with some fans interpreting them as criticism for Americans who do not travel to international tournaments. As the discussion escalated, Gauff provided a full clarification in her own words on X. "LOL, I'm going to clarify because people are dragging this out of context," she wrote. "I'm not expecting people to travel to tournaments to watch us play." She then explained the distinction she was trying to make. "But there are many tournaments that we have in America and abroad where Americans are already attending regardless of who is playing, excluding U.S. Open, where people come and don't really cheer for their countryman player," she wrote. "Whereas those from smaller countries come with their colors and flags, and it is clear on who they are supporting." Gauff stressed that her comments were personal and observational. "I was just speaking from my perspective," she wrote. "Trust me, I understand the financial aspect of things, and no, tennis is not accessible for everyone." She clarified that her remarks were aimed at fans who are already in the stands, particularly during team competitions. "It was more of a comment for those who are already attending and how I wish they were as passionate as those from other countries, more specifically team events," she added. She concluded her clarification by removing any notion of entitlement. "People don't owe me anything," Gauff wrote. "I was just honestly answering a question I was asked, and it was simply an observation I noticed about other countries versus mine, that is all. Nevertheless, I am grateful for any support, no matter how big or small it is." How did Gauff help level the tie for Team USA at the United Cup? Team USA began its Group A campaign against Argentina in a closely contested tie that came down to the deciding doubles match. The opening matchup unfolded with plenty of momentum shifts. Taylor Fritz fell in the first singles rubber, dropping a 3-set battle to Sebastian Baez, 6-4, 5-7, 4-6. Gauff then steadied the tie with a one-sided showing, overwhelming Solana Sierra 6-1, 6-1 to bring the teams level. With the outcome hanging in the balance, the doubles match proved decisive. Gauff teamed up with Christian Harrison and delivered a convincing 6-4, 6-1 victory over Maria Liutzkarl and Guido Andriozzi to seal the tie for Team USA. Next, Team USA face Spain in its final group matchup. The tie begins with Fritz squaring off against Joan Muno in the opening singles contest, after which Gauff faces Jessica Buzes-Maneo in the second singles match. The encounter is set to conclude with a double showdown featuring Gauff and Christian Harrison against Buzes-Maneo and Muno. Coco Gauff in the crowd, a moment that became more than a comment. In the world of elite sports, athletes are conditioned to perform at the highest level, but few are truly prepared for the scrutiny of every word they utter. For most, a press conference response is just another moment in a long tournament schedule. But for Coco Gauff, one candid answer in Perth ahead of the 2026 United Cup captured far more attention than she likely anticipated, spiraling into a social media maelstrom that revealed as much about modern fan culture as it did about the American sporting identity. PFSN. Gauff, the 21-year-old American tennis star and multi-Grand Slam champion, offered an honest perspective when asked whether she felt supported by U.S. fans at international events. She said what many athletes might privately think but rarely say out loud. She feels that American tennis fans often don't show up with the same fervor abroad as supporters from smaller nations. Her exact words, that we're definitely the worst when it comes to that, resonated because of their bluntness. Marker. But with raw honesty comes misunderstanding, especially online, and soon Gauff found herself navigating a wave of backlash that ranged from confusion to fierce criticism. What followed was more than a clarification. It was a nuanced discussion about expectations, identity, privilege, and the role of fans in global sport.